Joining us right now, Brad Garrett of ABC News. He's a crime and terrorism analyst, joining us to talk about what happened yesterday at the Navy Yard. Brad Garrett, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, you just heard Brian's report here that AP is saying that there was serious mental issues here with this Aaron Alexis. Are you getting more information about who this man was and what potentially could have motivated this crime?
No, I mean, this sort of struck me early on as potential workplace violence, anger and rage directed toward the military. I mean, how many shootings have we talked about that were focused on a place of employment or employees there where the shooter believed he was wronged by a particular individual or an institution? I think in this case, he's obviously angry at the Navy.
Well, yeah, and then so that seems to be where the indications are that it was some sort of disgruntled employee situation. There's nothing. I mean, they're going to keep going into his background, of course, but that begs the question: shouldn't there be proper screening or better screening for clearances to allow somebody to have access to a military base?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the problem with him is he had a documented history of being inappropriate with firearms. I mean, there's two different occasions where he discharged weapons. He went outside his mother's home and apparently shot the tires out of a car. I mean, all of that stuff was not picked up on a background investigation, and I'll tell you why. Because the contractor only did maybe an FBI check, and those particular shootings, that one and another one, which was a discharge issue of his weapon, they never found. They only would have found if they would have done a local check and a local background. Now, in my view, that wasn't done, or if it was done, it wasn't obviously done correctly. So that would have popped out, we got a guy inappropriate with firearms, carries a firearm all the time, may have alcohol problems this is only based on witness interviews, and has these huge issues with the Navy Reserve who end up, discharging him under general circumstances. He didn't even get an honorable discharge. So a lot of red flags that clearly nobody caught.
Let me drill down on that just a bit. Our guest is Brad Garrett, ABC crime and terrorism analyst. Okay, so look, he was arrested in both of those cases, but never charged. Are you saying even if he had been charged, that a background check might not have picked that up unless they did a local background check? Doesn't that go into a database somewhere?
Well, the FBI is at the mercy of the local police to upload charges. It doesn't automatically go. And so when it comes to lower level, in other words, obviously murder, rape, sexual assault, all of those, it's sort of a no-brainer. They automatically go into the system. All I'm suggesting is that in his particular case, those charges were probably not in the FBI database. I don't really know that. But I'm throwing that out to you that somebody didn't do. The short answer, somebody didn't do a thorough background investigation on Mr. Alexis.
Brad Garrett joins us, ABC News crime and terrorism analyst. And, Brad, do you have any information yet about the firearms that were used in this case?
No, I mean, the police here have reported an AR-15, possibly a shotgun, and a semi-automatic handgun.
Talk to me, though, about this thing that I hear about. He did have a past, but he may have gotten into some areas where he didn't have authority to be. And there's this thing called socially engineering your way past a checkpoint. Do you think that might be at play in this particular case?
Well, maybe. We don't really know enough to address that. I mean, what has been told publicly is that he was a contractor for Hewlett-Packard to do IT stuff for the Navy. By the very nature of that, where you've got to go into buildings, we've all had it done to our computers, they upgrade them, they do whatever, and that's what his job was. And I think he probably had legitimate access to the building. There's no metal detection system in that building, and I think what happened is, he was able to use his ID, go on in, assemble his weapons, and do his thing.
All right, Brad Garrett, ABC News, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Take care.
Brad Garrett is an ABC crime and terrorism analyst and apparently